Hello, this is Terry Ryan with the Tallahassee Sewage and Wakulla Basin Advocacy Group. Thank you very much for all the YouTube video views that you've experienced and sharing them. Apparently, we're getting hundreds of video views in the last couple weeks. And just imagine, we've only been doing this for 3 to 4 weeks, and we greatly appreciate all your support. We're looking for ideas on how to improve our YouTube videos. Have questions? Want to volunteer? Send me an email at terry@thetracker.com, TheTracker.com. Okay, so here we are, video number 4. How many of you have had poison ivy? Just a little bit, maybe a little bit more, which you may consider a real bad rash. Well, you'll recall, let's back up a little bit. You'll recall that Gilwaters Park was entirely closed at one time. And then a few days later, before Memorial Day, somebody decided to take the concrete barrier down at the Gilwaters Park entrance and bring it down to the boat ramp. Well, as you recall, I made our last video, number 3, the 1909 to 1975 Lake Munson history video. You'll recall people walking behind me. Some people I saw out fishing. Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed people walking up down trails. So it was pretty lively that day, which was the day before Memorial Day. Well, let me tell you, I woke up the next day and I was itching all over. I had burning sensations on my arms, my legs, all over the body. The next day, I went to my doctor thinking that maybe I had eaten some blueberries. You know, blueberries are in session right now, in season that is. And I kind of thought, well, maybe I ate too many blueberries. Well, he immediately diagnosed it as a severe case of eczema. Not just my arms, I'm talking about all over. Now, I had a small tube of medicine that I thought maybe something he might want to have me use, but at the end I had a huge container of cream that he gave to me and prescribed for me. It took almost 7 days to calm this eczema down to where I could actually function normally during the daytime. I'm still taking the cream, and it is definitely a reaction from being there the day before Memorial Day in front of the barrier on the Lake Munson ramp. So this week, I summarized to the county my medical emergency caused by the algal bloom toxins at the Lake Munson boat ramp. Although copied on various emails, instead of getting a reply from the Parks and Recreation Manager, Amanda Heidecker, wife of Mark Heidecker, City Water Quality Manager, Maggie Thoreau, Director of Resource Stewardship, replied. And her reply was as follows. Now remember, this is after my event of having eczema and being there at Lake Munson boat ramp the day before Memorial Day. She sends the email on June the 8th, this past Wednesday, indicating, "It is not the intent to close the Gilwaters Preserve Park, but merely the landing within the park as the DOH, Department of Health, noticed cautions against direct access to the water." Okay, I was nowhere near the water. The concrete barricade was initially misplaced at the park entrance. However, upon observing it myself, meaning Maggie, I clarified to staff, Miss Amanda Heidecker, I would suppose, the intent to barricade only the landing, allowing the public to continue enjoying the walking trails, pavilion, and grills in the preserve. So, there's no mention, as you notice, there's no mention of a citizen, myself, contracting a very serious illness. None at all. In summary, this is a gross betrayal of trust on the part of the county to protect the health, safety, and welfare of its citizens. The state, as you recall, has already positively tested the area for harmful algal blooms with toxins. At least one citizen, has reported a severe health reaction. The Leon County Health Department. Why doesn't the Leon County Department of Health step in? I did contact the Florida Department of Health Poison Control as instructed on the news release that we received on May the 10th. It indicates report symptoms from exposure to a harmful algal bloom or any aquatic toxin to the Florida Poison Information Center. Call 1-800-222-1222 to speak to a poison specialist immediately. I did that. Next, I contacted the County Department of Health here in Tallahassee, summarizing my experience. I received a polite reply that she would be back in touch. That was on Thursday. Haven't heard anything yet. So what part actually does the Leon County Department of Health play in harmful algal blooms exposures? Can Leon County Department of Health actually order a park to be closed? If not, why not? We'll continue to investigate for the health, safety, and welfare of our citizens. Next of all, this past Friday, June the 3rd, there was a joint city-county scientific committee meeting along with our advocacy group at the Renaissance Center and online a Zoom meeting. Our request for point source testing for nutrients was sadly beaten down. Time after time, Johnny Richardson, Leon County Water Resource Scientist, has rightly confirmed time after time that algal blooms at Lake Munson are an annual, ongoing event. At times, the discussion we had on Friday ignored or did not present evidence or denied the obvious that nutrients and toxins are flowing along numerous stormwater ditches in the city of Tallahassee into and out of stormwater ponds, or simply stated that stormwater ponds were containing nutrient and toxin contaminants as they were designed. It's simple. High levels of nutrients and toxic contaminants travel from all over the city of Tallahassee and end up in Lake Henrietta and then flow to Lake Munson in an amount as yet to be determined. It has been in recent years, not just decades ago. We need to have source tracing in all areas of areas north of Lake Munson. We need to do water column testing in Lake Munson and Lake Henrietta for toxic contaminants previously discovered in both lakes' sediment. That discovery was back in just a few years ago, and we'll talk about that in another video. Answer the question, how much toxic contaminants are moving about? How much is flowing south of Lake Munson, eventually to Wakulla Springs? Mark Heidecker, the city's water quality manager, indicated numerous times during Friday's meeting, the city is delivering clean water. But there's been no response on my random total nitrogen test on April 27th that got all this going. It was the largest total nitrogen figure in the last 50 years. Interestingly, comments after comment were made by participants in the meeting. Harmful algal blooms are caused by sunny days, warm water temperatures, and still water conditions. But blatantly left off was and excess nutrients. The May 10th, 2022 Florida Health News release, word for word, indicated on the news release here dated May the 10th, some environmental factors that contribute to blue-green algal blooms are sunny days, warm water temperatures, still water conditions, and excess nutrients. Blooms can appear year-round, but are more frequent in summer and fall. Many types of blue-green algae can produce toxins. So the difference in what was discussed in the Friday meeting last week and continually during all this discussion and time after time that we always hear, the excess nutrients is not being mentioned. Coincidentally, a June 9th article in our Santa Fe River indicates Santa Fe River newsletter, that is, indicates, and it was quoting also the paragraph I just read in the news release. Assuming this is a list of ingredients on food, they have it totally backward. We used to have sunny days, warm water temperatures, and still water conditions, but no algae. In other words, those three have always been in existence, and we had no algae. The key ingredient here is excess nutrients. That is the part that we can control, but our leaders choose not to because it will involve money. So we have another environmental group pointing out that that excess nutrients is being ignored and not discussed in the discussion. Going further, we feel the requirements in a government agreement on 2011 called the Total Maximum Daily Limit, TMDLs for short, is way too high for various nutrients. This is an agreement that was put together and finalized in 2011 when the state of Florida, Florida Department of Environmental Protection, recognized that we had a very high nutrient levels and nutrient levels. It didn't address toxins. Anyway, this TMDL agreement we're going to discuss in another YouTube video, and should be pretty enlightening. We're very concerned about how it was put together initially. Future videos. Our next video is going to be a comparison of the Leon County's Florida DEP, Florida Geological Survey study of February 2019. This was followed closely by the city of Tallahassee hiring a consultant to provide a response to the recommendations that the FGS made to the Leon County of point source testing. The city of Tallahassee's Terracon report of January 2021 indicated point source testing was not needed. How the city of Tallahassee's water quality area has shamefully discouraged any source point testing to identify sources of nutrients, heavy metals, petrochemicals, and other really bad contaminants that are in close proximity to residents living around Lake Munson and possibly elsewhere. Water column testing, can be done to see if these nutrients and toxic substances are present both in before rainfalls and afterwards. It can be done. If no one's going to do this point source testing, the Tallahassee Sewage and Wakulla Basin Advocacy Group is here to do so. We have analysis companies already lined up. We have places to test. Stay tuned. Well, history. History 1975 to 1991. Numerous articles of citizens fed up with polluted waters at Lake Munson continues. Homeowners associations have been formed and lawsuits filed or threatened to be filed. Margaret Fogg steps up and gives a courageous fight for the various causes to protect the area residents, continuing to see stormwaters flood their properties, contaminated wells, and septic systems being overloaded. Then the inevitable happens as we would expect. Sewage spills. What we have here is a list of a few of the sewage spills that occurred starting in 1982, and these are just the ones we happen to find. In 1982, there was a 400,000 gallon spill of raw sewage. Now remember, in the past video, we talked about sewage effluent being dumped into Lake Munson in the millions and millions of gallons. Now what we're talking about now is raw sewage spills that have not gone through the various treatment plants. So this is raw sewage, not only has what we consider just poop, but also toxic chemicals coming from all over. anything that people would put into the system, the sewage collection system. So here we have 400,000 gallons on October 21st, 1982. Apparently it was caused by a construction company that was doing work at the Spring Hill Road treatment plant, and unfortunately the sewage flow went into the ditch next to Lake Munson and eventually got in there. As they indicated here, the sewage spill was one of the largest ever in Leon County. So this one here is dated October 21, 1982, and the article indicates the largest ever in Leon County, which then indicates that there were others. Next of all, there was a sewage spill on July 22nd, or reported, I should say, July 22nd, 1987, of 700,000 gallons of mixed sewage and stormwater, spilling over from a city pump station near Lake Jake Gaither Golf Course. Now this one here brings up the concern that we've had, the sewage advocacy group here, for many years, that rainfall does affect sewage spills. And we'll talk about that in yet another video. But this one here was caused by heavy rains on June 16th and 17th, and again on July 1st, and combined with the failure of a sewage pumping station. It quotes a lady here who is apparently the operator of a local fishing tackle shop near Lake Munson. Said 2 of his customers reported that recognizable debris was still visible in the lake weeks after the incident. So there's a misconception that once sewage, treated or untreated, goes into a large body of water, it just dilutes. Well, that's not what we feel is happening. Sewage spill after sewage spill accumulates toxins and contaminants time after time. What I don't understand, quotes the fish shop operator, is why the city would not have put out some kind of public warning about that kind of thing. They should have put up signs or something to warn people that the lake is polluted. Something we've been arguing about for the last 4 years. Next article, January 15th, 1991. Headline, Break spills raw sewage into Lake Munson and slough. This is written by Julie Hauserman. As much as 3 million gallons of raw sewage spilled in from a Tallahassee pumping station Sunday and Monday, and most of the mess went into beleaguered Lake Munson. The city's water and sewer superintendent indicated it was just one of those things that happen that you can't predict. It's like a tire on your car. You never know when it's going to go out. Our question has been, over the last several years, what about periodic maintenance? Now, for the positive information from the City of Tallahassee Underground Utilities, we've been seeing some positive results in their ongoing increasing in maintenance routines. And we've been talking with them about that the last couple of years. However, we still have questions about things that are happening, and that would be yet another video. That was January 15th, 1991. And so those are the things that have happened. And again, we appreciate the many hundreds of video views that we've had. Please share our various YouTube video URL links, and please sign up as a subscriber. We definitely look forward to your comments. Again, send your questions and comments. And if you want to volunteer, send an email to Terry@thetracker, TheTrakker.com. Be safe, and see you on the next go around.